Hello everyone and welcome to the Action Figure-atorium. My name is Mark Major, and if you're wondering if upon clicking on this video, if you're in the right place, yes, you are in the right place. Now, some of you know that I am, of course, a real big toy collector. That much is true. I also run a studio here in Southeast Portland, technically Milwaukee, but we can just say Southeast Portland. It's cool. And one of the things I do on this channel is a lot of marketing analysis of action figure Kickstarters. I like to weigh in a lot of objective things that every kind of Kickstarter campaign needs to have, and then I like to speak a bit subjectively on whether or not I like the action figures. I've made a lot of videos covering Kickstarters. I'm going to put some links below in the description of some other vids that I think you should check out. Today is going to be something kind of like that. It's a kind of a compendium video to those other videos. This is essentially not to get burned by Kickstarter campaigns. What are the things you need to look for as far as red flags, as far as green flags go, to see if you should back it? Otherwise, you could put your money into something, and as time goes by, you get scammed, you don't get your money back. So I want everybody, let's all come together, let's strap on the leather, and let's hold on tight. So I am a person who does not hide behind a mask. I do not hide behind an alias. I use my real name, my real face, and I'm not using a teleprompter today, folks. I just got like this clipboard with some notes, and I think you're going to get it by the time we finish this as far as what you need to look for vetting a Kickstarter campaign to know if you're going to get scammed or not. Okay, the first thing on my list, check this out. Is the campaign for the product that they're giving you, is it a 3D printed item? Here's why. 3D printed items are cottage industry. They are print on demand. They're made one at a time by a printer. It could be the guy who is doing the campaign who owns the printer, or maybe he farms it out to some kind of 3D print farm, some kind of a print shop or something like that. Doesn't matter. They don't need to be doing a crowdfund. They should just be doing straight one-to-one sales. They could do it on eBay, and that way you could see feedback and know that they actually deliver the product. That's how you'd vet them. But you don't need to do a Kickstarter for 3D printed parts and action figures, etc. And just a note of caution, let's check this out. I did a video on this cat a couple weeks ago. It is a crowdfund that is for this 1/18th scale Airwolf helicopter, and you could either spend a couple $100 and he would give you the kit unassembled, or you could spend something like $300 and he would build it for you, painted, that kind of thing. Anyways, the guy's a scammer, took off with the money. Some people he did ship out an unassembled kit. The kit was pretty terrible, but he did actually print something and send it, even though some of the videos that people posted them building it actually involved them drilling into parts that he had sent that inside of it had resin that was still liquid. It had not cured with a UV light because it was inside, and actually drained out, looked like plastic blood bleeding out of a toy. It was terrible. So this Kickstarter, right, obviously red flags for several things, but the fact is that it's all 3D printed. He shouldn't have put this on a crowdfund. It should have just been a sales page on a website or some kind of an eBay thing. All right, let's go on to the second thing. Okay, and that is you need to vet the company. Check out who is doing the Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whatever the crowdfund is, and see if they have a previous record of successful campaigns that they also went so far as to fulfill. Like, not just that they funded, but that people got their stuff. You see, you can do one kind of successful thing, a year can go by, and do another one, collect even more money, and never deliver anything, but still have successful campaigns. They need to fulfill Also, when vetting this company, do things like look them up, see if they have a website, see if they have existing stuff that they're selling, see if they're in this for the long con. That is, are they in the space of indie toy companies and they're constantly making product and, selling it and refreshing it. Check out the website, vet the website, look and see if it's real or not. And then I'm just going to say, as my number 3 thing here, according to the notes, guys, look and see who the campaign is working with. Do you recognize any of the names? Are they industry experts? For example, is this particular campaign, are they using like maybe the Four Horsemen to sculpt it? Maybe they're using the photographer that does all the Four Horsemen's action figures, right? The 1/6 shooter guy. Maybe they're using Chris Garwich, guy who works for the Four Horsemen, who has been for many Kickstarters a liaison between the toy company and the toy factory, making sure that the stuff gets done on time, it's all correct, that kind of thing, right? See if there's any big names. Look at the list of credits. See if you know anybody, recognize anybody. Feel free to Google these names and vet them and see if this is a real campaign or just a scammer. Most of the times, if they don't have a website, if they're not working with anybody and it's any kind of like, terrible, terrible lo-fi graphics, terrible ad copy, no real incentives, no real carrot and stick, just a thing. Hey, buy my thing. Chances are you don't want to be involved with it. But I'm going to close with one last little part of my epilogue, and that is this. Check this out. So this is for a campaign called Futuristic Combat Soldier. It's for a 6-inch action figure. They were making 5 of them, and it funded a couple years ago. And it looks like a legit thing. However, it has run into complications. It has run into complications. They did an update May 26th, and they said that they've been having problems with their factory. They didn't detail whose fault it was. They made it sound like there was something that they needed to take a broom and get the factory going on this. But it seems like there's just something not right with this campaign, and it looks to be, from the comments and from the updates, that for whatever reason it's not going to fulfill. Now, the reason for this, don't know, but you need to take into account that 2 years goes by between when you get charged and it fulfills and you actually get the product in hand, and sometimes it's even longer than that. And so a lot can happen in 2 years, right? This guy could be totally flush and great when it closes and collect all this money. Maybe a year goes by, maybe has some sort of weird financial difficulty, maybe some sort of legal bills, maybe some sort of property bills, maybe some death in the family. Who knows? All sorts of things could go wrong. Could need a pet operation, could dip into the cookie jar, maybe dips into it once, maybe dips into it twice, maybe runs out of money, figures I'm going to raise money again later somehow to pay for this. Can't pay for it, stalls because of life problems. Maybe something happens with global shipping. Maybe there's a coup in a third world country. Maybe there's a coup in a second world country. Maybe something happens with the factory. Maybe the factory changes hands. Maybe they take the money and lose the order. Who knows? There's a lot of things that could happen in 2 years. So when you put your money into these things, you almost a lot of times are going to have to expect that they're going to go south, no matter how well intended the person doing the campaign is. But if you want to actually read this, you should go check it out. It's on Kickstarter. And, it just says things like, these issues have understandably contributed to the long working time and lack of updates, meaning, they flaked on it. So, it is what it is not, my friends. That's all I've got to say for this episode. Don't get burned by the Kickstarters. In fact, when you do find a Kickstarter that's working, give in to it lovingly. And with that, everybody, stay charged.